Hello and welcome to the Candidates Forum. I'm Jared Fry, General Manager of Medina TV.
And I'm Jacqueline Rixmeyer with the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce. We are excited once again to partner with Medina TV to bring you the 2023 Candidates Forum. All candidates in contested races were invited to participate this year.
Yes, and the views of those candidates are not necessarily those of the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce or Medina TV.
Thank you for tuning in to watch our 2023 Candidates Forum. We appreciate your willingness to be informed about the upcoming election.
Joining us now in studio is Andrew West, the incumbent school board member running for the Medina City School Board of Education again. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Jared, very much for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you. First, let's start off for those people at home that may not know you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, name's Andrew West. I've lived in Medina since January of '99. I'm married to Susan, and I have two boys. Jonathan, who's 23, and Braden, who's 19. They're both in college. John's at Ashland University, and Braden is now at Ohio State University. Have been a long time adult volunteer with Boy Scouts of America here in Medina with many different units. Had the opportunity to participate with a lot of Eagle Scout projects here in Medina. It's been, for me, one of the most rewarding things as an adult is working with the young men of our community. Both of my sons are Eagle Scouts, which I was very proud of. I am not, but also have helped out in the schools with the cross-country team in the fall. I've been mowing their cross-country course every year. Little plug, they have a meet coming up on October the 7th, the Mill Place Invitational, so I'd encourage everybody to go out. But if you look, the course was mowed by me, so very happy to help out in the schools wherever I can. But I'm the kind of guy who's behind the scenes.
So what was the driving force that made you decide to run again?
My time in scouting is kind of coming to an end since my boys have aged out. I still participate, but not nearly as much time as I used to. One of the big things in scouting we promote is servant leadership and serving the community. That's a big part of an Eagle Scout project. But as adults, we like to model the behaviors that we want our scouts to learn. So for me, it was being an adult leader, and since my time in scouting is coming kind of to a close, the next logical step for me was, hey, I've had a great experience with my two sons in this good school district, and can I serve here on the school board? Grew up in a household of teachers. Both my parents were teachers, and I think that this is the next logical step for me.
For the folks at home that maybe don't know the role of a school board member, just kind of talk us through what a member of the school board does.
So a school board member, a lot of people don't really know this, but a school board has three main functions. Hire the superintendent, hire the treasurer, and make policy. As a school board, if you have to replace a superintendent, you look for somebody who's very qualified, will fit well in the district. We're very fortunate we have a really good superintendent. Same thing goes for a treasurer. And then to make policy. And on the policy end of it, that's governed by state and federal laws, and so we have to follow those. And there's organizations that all school districts work with to help us make sure that we are following state and federal laws so we don't get ourselves into trouble.
So as you look, there are a lot of issues that are facing the district here. We'll touch on those in the next couple of questions. One will be the levy. We'll touch on that in a minute. But right now, regardless of what happens with the levy, there is a redistricting that's going on within the school district. Kind of give us your thoughts on the redistricting.
Well, when you look at the Medina City Schools, we kind of have two rings of buildings. We have an inner ring like Ella Canavan, Garfield, Sidney Fenn, and Claggett, and the high school. But we'll leave kind of the high school and the middle schools out of it. But then we have this outer ring of buildings like Ralph Waite, Northrop. And where the growth in our city is on those outer rings. So our outer buildings are really full to the point where there's no extra space in there. And then we have our inner buildings, which are some of which are very do not have a lot of students in them. So we've redistricted in the past for this, where they reapportion buildings to kind of keep the buildings about the same size, and that's what this is. With redistricting, the hope is that by redistricting, we can move students around, and then also hopefully with the middle schools, change the way the middle schools are set up, where Root would be a 5-6 building and Claggett would be a 7-8 building.
Now, with that now has come a bond issue and an operating levy that will be on the ballot also this November.
Correct.
Kind of walk us through your thoughts with that.
Well, with any school district, first and foremost, we can't run in a deficit, and we're not in a deficit now. But to build buildings and keep expanding programming, unfortunately, you need revenue. And so the decision was made between the board and the administration to put a bond and operating levy on the ballot for November. Now, in this district, we haven't had new operating money since 2013. And that was an emergency 5-year levy, I believe. And then in 2018, it was made permanent. So there's been no new money for 10 years. And the district said, we're not going to ask for any new money until we actually need it. And so thus the putting on the ballot the operating levy and the bond this November. Now,
what are your thoughts as a board member, if elected again, proceeding, we'll look at it both ways, on passage of the levy and bond issue? Kind of your thoughts, what you do moving forward with passage?
What exactly do you mean?
Like, what would you like to see as a board member? You get the passage of this levy and bond issue. Yes, if you get it, what would you like to do as a board member then?
Well, I think the first and most important thing is we're looking at a new middle school to replace Claggett. Claggett has some issues. It was identified by the Ohio Facilities Commission as the one most important building that needed replaced, and that was done by the state of Ohio, where they come in, they evaluate all of your buildings, and they say, hey, you need to look at this one. Part of Claggett, what a lot of people don't know, is part of Claggett is actually sinking in the back. The foundation is actually sinking back by the creek. So that, for me, would be the first most immediate need, would be to replace Claggett Middle, get the construction of Claggett Middle School going. Mm-hmm. And right now, that would be basically right across the street, so we can still continue to use Claggett. And then once that building was open, the old one would come down, and then a new athletic facility, track, field would be built in the place of where Claggett is now. And that's all, excuse me, but that is all part of the plan that the administration and the board approved, called the Yellow Plan. That was all part of that. So
now, if it goes through and it fails, as a board member, what do you think your next steps would be in that case?
Well, if it fails, that would be very tough. Obviously, we couldn't build a new building, and we'd have to sit down with the administration and try to figure out what those next steps are. But the relationship between the administration and the board is very collaborative, so we'd sit down and talk and figure out, okay, what are the next steps?
Mm-hmm. Now, again, we're speaking with Andrew West, the incumbent on the Medina City School Board of Education. He'll be on the ballot this November. You'll see on that ballot there are 3 candidates. The 2 with the highest votes will be the ones that are elected to the school board. So, Andrew, if you're reelected, what are some of your goals or accomplishments that you would like to achieve?
Well, for me personally, my job as a board member is, I think, first and foremost, to be an advocate for our students, our staff, for everybody in the district, the voters that have put me here. I think that's very important. A big part of that is communication. And for me personally, I think the biggest part of that is listening. And I like to look at it as 2 ways. Active listening, so like I'm paying attention, I'm really listening to what you say, but also empathetic. Because there's going to be people that maybe I don't understand or don't agree with, but if I'm putting myself in your shoes and trying to be empathetic to what you're saying, hopefully we can kind of come to an understanding. But for me personally, it's being an advocate for our students, our staff, and the voters of Medina that have put me there. We are very lucky here. We have a really good school system in Medina. So,
now you just touched on communication a little bit there, and I'll expand on that. Do you feel, or is there, how the district communicates with the parents, students, and residents? Do you feel we're doing a good job as a district? Are there ways to improve on that? What are your thoughts?
I think we do. I think the district does a pretty good job. There's always ways to improve. For me, growing up, communication was through the paper or through, maybe a note was sent home. Well, communication has changed over the years with the advent of social media. So with social media and electronic forms of communication and, videos and whatnot. So the district needs to adjust and change as people know. But you have many different groups of people. You have, you have grandparents that maybe only want to see a piece of paper, but then you have people like me that want to see an email. But then you have the younger generation that wants to see Twitter, Facebook, social media. But I think on a whole, our district does pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Again, we're speaking with Andrew West, the incumbent for the Medina City School Board of Education. Last question I have for you before I let you talk to the viewers is, what is it that excites you the most about the Medina City School District?
What excites me the most is having seen my own 2 sons go through the district and seeing how successful they have been at OSU. My younger son is studying engineering. Very difficult to get into OSU as an engineering student. And my other son at Ashland. Seeing them successful and seeing their friends successful and talking to students that are just very successful adults and beyond our schools. So that excites me to see that and know that they got a good education coming through the district. It excites me too to see the teachers that I interact with or have, how much they care about our students and how much time and energy they really put into our students. So that's what excites me, and that's what I hope to at least be an advocate and continue to do.
Again, speaking with Andrew West, incumbent for the City School Board of Education. I want to thank you for answering all of my questions, but I want to give you the last chance to say anything you would like to the voters, maybe touch on anything I may have missed, or whatever you'd like to say. The floor is yours.
I'd just like to thank everybody that voted for me last time. I hope I am reelected, but I think the most important thing is get out and vote, make your choice of who you think is going to best represent you. But it's been my pleasure to serve and hopefully continue to serve our students and our staff and the voters of Medina. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Again, that's Andrew West, the incumbent for the Medina City School Board of Education. Andrew, thank you for taking the time with us today, and I want to wish you the best of luck this November.
Thank you very much, Jared. Appreciate it.